Yes. And you should, Michael. He has given me some good tips. I just can't wait to get started on my traveling garden. So here we are. Hey, David.
Hey,
All right. So I'm gonna just you let me know if I need to come back up. I'm listening in. I'm gonna make it where you have the entire screen and you can just talk to us about what you got going on there.
okay. Okay. Are we ready now? Well, I think we're ready. I'm gonna show y'all this. Let me see if I can flip this camera. That right there, this is a purple, a Cherokee purple tomato, y'all. And all you have to do, what I did was use the flower pot, and you can tell, as you can tell, just pan over here. This is a big beef steak tomato. It's gonna grow the real big tomatoes. Over here, this is a blackberry. It's two blackberry plants in here, but it's a third that's coming up. If you can tell, you see this right here? It's one right here, and it's another one coming up right here. So that's actually one, two, three, four. It's four in there. I didn't even see that one yesterday. And this is an orange tree. It has one orange on it. It had more, but I could tell they fell off. You see this little bud right here? That's an orange. This is what I'm gonna plant. This is where I'm going to plant my lime tree. And what I did was I just poured some compost on the bottom, some mulch. Excuse me. This mulch right here, you don't have to get this brand, and I prefer you not to because it's color. But the dye it'll wear off anyway. It's under the ground, so I didn't worry about it too much. But right here, this is mulch. I put bags of mulch, 2 bags of mulch on the bottom, right? And I made a big circle. And then I got that's peat moss. And if you look at it, it's compact, but it breaks down. You see how fine it is? You see that? How fine it is? It's like dirt, powdered dirt almost, but it absorbs water. So I mixed that with some compost and some pure light. I threw the bag of pure light away, but it's right here. Let me see if I can dig it out. This may take a minute, y'all.
That's great. That's
This may
great,
take a
David.
minute.
This is
I'm telling you.
awesome. Awesome.
Give me a second. I want to show you what the bag looks like. That's pure light. Pure light. Pure light, peat moss. Let me go show you what compost is. That's the that's the lime tree I'm planting in a minute. But this, for one, these are coffee grounds, spent coffee grounds in this bag. You see how much spent coffee grounds this is? That's a big bag. This right here is a big bag of compost, organic compost. Now mix this with that pure light, this pure light, and this peat moss. I put equal parts, okay, and you mix it together, and it'll make finer compost mix. Okay, that's what your plants come in anyway. So
David,
this. Oh, I'm
David,
sorry, I
can
can't
you
hear you.
hear me?
No, I can't now because you shared the screen.
Okay, listen. So when you mix that, do you mix it in a bucket or something, or you mix it together right on the ground?
It doesn't matter if you got a piece of cardboard to mix it on, concrete. Um, you can mix it on the ground if you want to.
But you want to mix it real good, huh?
Yeah, just mix it up.
Okay, I'm gonna let you go back.
Okay. This right here, you is a sage plant. We know that's good for us right there. This, you see, is planted in a pot, a plastic container. This right here is a bunny. This is a bunny tomato, a bunny original. Okay, let me go back over here. See all these onions? That's kale. Those little things right there, that's kale. There should be some more come up, but if it doesn't, I'm going to plant some basil in there. But it doesn't matter. You see that? Those are Brussels sprouts on the end. Then we have kale. Then we have another row of onions, red and white, and it's red and white in that box, in that container. And you can get those containers from Home Depot for like $13. These are collard greens. In this yellow container, that's a green cabbage as well. That row is the second row is green cabbage, and that first row is red cabbage. When I move this, there's strawberries in here. You may see that down there. They're off in there, and I just ate five of them earlier, and they taste way different from the store. That's a tomato, a salsa tomato.
David, can you hear me,
Yes,
David?
yes.
Why are the strawberries covered like that?
Oh, so the birds don't eat them.
Oh, they smell that sweetness, and so
No,
they
they just see
okay.
the red. They just
Okay.
see the
Oh,
red.
the red. Okay. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you. I'm gonna let you go back.
and birds like berries anyway, so that's why they do it. Yeah, those are onions. Another salsa tomato. That's onions. Then kale. Then we got a red cabbage. A few more onions in between. Then we got a pepper plant. A few more onions. A tomato plant, and then a pepper plant. But this is a lunchbox orange sweet snacking pepper. That's what that is. You can put food in baskets. I just sat this basket inside a TA tire, but you
I
see what it
love
is.
that. That
Hmm.
that's really creative. I think that's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the
You can do
bottom
that.
of the basket, David. Is the
Yep.
bottom of the basket is the roots of the plants or whatever is gonna grow in there gonna grow through the
It's
bottom
probably
of
not gonna
the
grow through the
basket?
bottom. It's just kale, radish, and spinach in there.
And you said it won't
It
attach
probably
itself to
won't.
the
It
ground.
probably won't. No, it
Okay.
probably won't.
So that's actually movable.
I'm sorry.
So that's actually movable. That can actually
Right,
be moved.
right, right, right,
Okay.
right. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
yes. And this is the lime tree that I just bought. I just purchased yesterday. You see these little? Those are limes. See when they do that right there? They're budding. So it's limes already on this tree. If you ever go to a box store and get purchase trees, try to look for the ones that's already budding. You know what I'm saying? So you know you're going to get a harvest from those. And oh, here's my nectarine tree. That's three right there, right? So, and back to this. I just did this a minute ago. I just added some cow manure compost to the top of this. So this is my second year having this garden. But the first year, I only had like a row over there where you see those trellises. I only had a row of yellow pear tomatoes. And look at all this, and it wasn't even that long either. As a matter of fact, where you see that pole at? Well, it's probably 2 feet from that pole to the end. It wasn't even there. That part of this garden wasn't even here. It was just from that, about here on down to there. But I dug up the rest and I said I wanted a larger garden. And hopefully the spirit of this dead hawk that I had, I got the feathers off of them through the dead hawk's remains in the garden. So hopefully it nourishes the garden. But that's a compost pile over there. I just started that, and all you have to do is throw coffee grounds on that, and the worms will come up to the top and eat the coffee grounds out. Composting that, composting that pile down. But this honeysuckle's on that tree. I forget which well, I can't even say the name. With those purple flowers, right? Did you see? This fence was clean from there on, the beginning of the season, and all this stuff is growing back on this fence in that short of time. But I don't know what I think these are wish. I can't even say the name. That's what they are.
Okay, you're back. David, you froze a little bit. You were saying that, can you go back to what you were saying about what happened on the fence?
Oh, this fence. I was saying I cleaned out this fence from there. I cleaned the whole fence off. Last year I started from there to about there, and I cleaned off that fence inside. But I should have cleaned off all of it because I wanted to kill all of it. But I'm glad I didn't because these plants, these natural plants, these purple plants, they are natural. Nature, they are natural to this to Texas. So I'm glad that I didn't. But I am gonna clean them up and make this fence look better than this because this was just clean. You could tell the inside of the fence is much more it's cleaner, of course, than the outside. This used to be an alley back here, but the city doesn't take care of it no more. I don't care because I don't want nobody walking back there. So hey, it's all good. That's a nasty bucket of I ain't gonna say it's nasty. I'm gonna say this. It was a full bucket of softener, and I messed around here and didn't use it, and so I know it's probably poisoning now. So I'm poured along this fence where I don't want that stuff. I'm glad he put that tin fence on the other side because if you look on the other side of that fence, so I hate for y'all to see it, but there's something else over there. But yes, this is what I do, and it's natural to me. It's fun. I mean this. It's like a baby. You'll come out here every day and you'll see what you're doing. You'll try to see you'll try to check on your harvest to see what's grown and what's not. You'll find out what's maturing. You'll find out a lot about your soil just checking out your plants.
Well, David, I have to tell you, I am like in awe. This is absolutely awesome. I mean, that garden is has so much more in it than I remember you naming off some stuff, but it didn't, sound like it was as big a garden as it is. And I want to just say to people that did not see the initial live stream that David did with me 2 days ago, but he told us then that last year he had maybe three things in his garden. And look at all of the stuff. And it was his first year gardening.
Second.
Second year. Last year was the second year gardening.
No, last year was, I'm sorry, I cut you off, and I need to apologize because that's something that I really want to stop doing.
Uh-huh.
My bad. My apologies to
Oh,
you,
that's
sister.
okay. It's
No, it's
okay.
not.
Well, I mean, you were just trying to correct me. So
No,
so
I was
I'm
correcting myself.
okay, okay. So tell me, last year was the second year?
No, I'm sorry. That's why I said I was wrong for cutting you off. Last year was my first year, and I'm sorry.
Y'all hear
So
that?
you go ahead and speak. I'm sorry.
So this is so encouraging because David started gardening last year and he's showing us that today he has a full garden of plants, of food, of groceries, as I've heard it put somewhere, and that his strawberries are sweet. He said, and that it really is something that he loves, and he's been very giving in his description of what it takes to start a garden, even if you start them in buckets. And he showed us that he has some of his garden started and growing out of buckets, and some of them can be moved. If for in my case, I know that I'm going to be moving. So I'm going to be careful and plant things like herbs, and I'm going to do the three plants that he suggested. But I'm hoping that they won't be so big that I can't move them. And if they are, I'll leave them for a neighbor. David, you're trying to show us something. I'm going to get on and let you show us.
The oranges, I guess, went to the. There you go. That's just rainwater. Rainwater for the plants.
Okay,
And
talk
I put
about that a
orange.
little bit, David.
I just put oranges in it, hoping that just the nutrients out of the orange peels will help the plants. It's all nature. Oh, and I'm sorry, I forgot something. I miss my little boy because he been cut so short, and came out here this morning. I came out here yesterday morning, and something caught my attention. I thought it was a squirrel that was digging in this mulch around this blueberry plant because I didn't talk about the blueberry plant. But what it was, I found out later this morning when I came back out here. I was revisited by it was a cat that used the restroom in my mulch, and I saw something had played in it yesterday morning. I straightened it back out, right? So I come back out here this morning, something played in it again. So I said, hmm. But at the time, I didn't know nothing played in it. I just started straightening it back out, and I said, wait a minute, I did this yesterday. And I looked down, man, I had my hand almost in some mess, some cat's mess, you know. And I'm like, man, look at here. But this right here is a blueberry plant. Let me get down closer, because my partner, he came by and his help lawnmowed over it. Although it had this big ring around it, it had this big heel around it. He mowed it over. But you see what's happening though. It's not gonna die. He just
David,
restarted.
I got a
Yes.
question. So about the cat, was it a kitten? Did you see him?
No, I didn't because he comes out so early. But I know it's a tomcat because I see him around here. But what I'm gonna tell y'all to do too, if you don't want no cats or dogs in your yard, what you do. This may sound a little vulgar, but we nature, all right. We all do this. Hey, when you go in the house and you use the restroom, urinate, uh, catch that in a cup, styrofoam cup, and put it in a spray bottle and spray it around your yard, and in the corners of your yard, and it'll keep animals out of your yard.
Okay, I hope y'all got that now. Like you said, it might sound like something crazy, but if it works,
Yep,
that's a
yep.
natural way to keep them out of the yard, then I think it sounds reasonable. So, okay. Do you want to? Do you have some other things? I know you said that you didn't talk about the blueberry
Oh
tree
yeah,
that's right
I want
there.
to tell you this because I'm gonna plant this squash in here. I have some squash. I'll go show it to you in a minute. This was an old box that my old man had in the house. You can see it. One piece fell off. You see, one piece fell off, and it fell off the other day when I was moving it. But this right here, if you got something like this wooden box, you can use anything that holds uh, 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 compost. You could put it in there, and I'm gonna put some squash in there. And of course, the squash is gonna run. And when I mean run, it's gonna go all over the yard. It's gonna go far. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna climb out of that box and go far. So, but the squashes will still grow on it.
How would you contain the squash? Like if you didn't want it growing all over something else
This is
that's
my
nearby?
first time growing it, so to me personally, if you tend to it, if you tend to it, just like a child, if you don't want him to get out of line, what you do? Put him back in line, right? So
Right.
same thing. If but you're not going to contain it in that box. I can tell you that now. And if you want to contain, I'm not for sure if they will grow on trellises. I'm not for sure. Check on YouTube. A lot of information on YouTube, but I'm
So
not
you
for
have a
sure.
okay, okay. So you have a trellis right there, and I see another trellis set up right there. So maybe you already said, but what do you have there?
I'm gonna put those cucumbers in it. Oh, let me show y'all something. Anybody know if anybody that can help me? I don't have a lot of money at all. I'm just saying, I'm just showing y'all this. This is a house my old man gave me, and I'm thankful to have it. I'm trying to pay the taxes. You know, I'm a barber. I was a barber. Can't do that right now. But these are tomato plants. These are bell peppers that haven't come up right here. What has come up is yellow pear tomatoes and sweet cherry tomatoes, which are the smaller round cherry tomatoes. These right here, these are cucumbers. But you notice the tops of these are gone. If you could, let me get it close. You notice the tops of them are gone. It's because the birds love they love the tops of your plants. And at first, I had that right there on top of that box you see out there. I had it upside down and I had them growing on there, and I put that cage like thing on top of them. But when I was out sitting at the window one morning and saw a sparrow swoop down to eat the strawberries. I said, well, the strawberries are more important, to me. So that's what I put the net over that. But all you have to do is go get some tool if you really want to put something over that, and hurry up and do it. But get some tool, TOOL. No, no,
Okay.
no. T U
TOUL,
T
I
U
believe.
T T
LL.
U L L.
Yes.
It's tool, but
I
it's
know
fabric.
I know about tool
You
from
know what makes
sewing.
the women's dresses puff up? The old
Yes.
days make their dress.
Yes.
Yeah, that. Go get that and put over it.
Okay. I'm gonna put the what I think is the spelling in the chat, and if someone can find out if that's not right, um, I'm gonna put tool can be used to cover
And if that's
plant.
not the correct name, I'll get back with you and I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay. That the birds
But
like.
I'm almost certain that's the name now. But as you
Okay.
see
And if
right here,
someone can,
this tomato plant right here. This is a pink lady. So it's more of a pinker tomato. When I was speaking to you the other day and I was telling you about those coffee grounds mixed in that compost, these are these cups you see here. That's what's in that, and that's why. And I planted. I'm gonna come back to it because right now I forget what I planted in there, but I planted something in there, and I'm gonna
David,
see if it comes
I
up. But
have
I
a
have to go back in the
question.
house.
I
Yes,
have a question. So all of those little compartments that's there that you are showing that those that you were just showing, like if you put your camera back downward, does that come like that? Do you purchase that like that?
these are like this. You see this? I can't take them out too much because they'll break. You see how I'm sliding this whole
Yeah, it's
eight
like an
tray
eight
out?
compartment
That's
tray.
the eight tray. Hold on, right, 1 second. Don't worry about it.
Uh-oh.
I'll put it back. But the
Uh-oh.
eight trays, they come like that. And those are cardboard. That's why I didn't want to really move them because they'll break.
Okay, it's okay. And so when you purchase
But
that, you purchase it in a eight in one set of eight,
yeah,
and
but
they're
they come.
already
I believe I got them
seasoned.
from. I believe I got them from Lowe's, and they come in a pack of like how many you see here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means they come in a pack of four
Okay,
because I got two packs.
okay, okay. Well, it looks
And the
like.
cardboard ones are better because you could just break each one of these cells off,
Mm-hmm,
each cell off.
mm-hmm.
You know, these are cells. Each square is a cell.
Okay,
You can break that off, and you can plant it directly into the ground as these growing up.
okay.
So it
And then
doesn't,
so you
because
had to put the
that
compost
cardboard is
in
going to
there.
deteriorate.
Okay, so you put the compost in there and the seeds in there.
Yes.
Okay. Do they also sell them with already something growing a little bit out of them
Yeah.
already
These right here I got.
pre-planted?
These tomatoes right here I got
Okay.
from a box store. They are celebrity tomatoes. So yeah,
Okay.
this right here, this is okra. This is okra. All this right here, these are black creme tomatoes. These tomatoes right here, these are black creme tomatoes in all six of these trays. And like I said, these are sweet cherry tomatoes. These are regular cucumbers. These are white cucumbers, but they did come up. Like I could see a short little stub right here, but the birds ate it off. They ate this one off too, but they're still growing because when I came out here the other day, it was just a straight stem. Now you see leaves growing back on it, and these here. So that's why I didn't just throw them out because I believe that these probably will come back up because this is stuff right here and it's healthy. I could tell it's healthy, and so they might come back up. They may come back up. So that's why I didn't want to kill them. And I mean, I didn't want to just put them out again and get some more. This right here is kale as well. And this, they haven't come up yet, but these are sweet pepper too.
Okay,
Green
are you
sweet pepper.
willing to take a question or so from the chat? I can ask the
I
chat
don't have
if
no problem.
anybody wants to ask you any. Okay, does anyone want to ask David anything in specific? I know he said he wasn't going to be long today, but maybe we can get a question or two. David, Michael Brown Harris, who was on with me earlier, Cheek, Michael Brown Harris, Cheek. He says Saved and Sanctified have some great videos on gardening. Have you heard of them?
Nah, but I appreciate that, Michael. I really do, man, because whomever I learn from, I don't care. I just want the knowledge. You understand? It makes me better. So I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Yes.
And you
Okay.
said save and sanctified.
Yep, saved and sanctified. So Mary, maybe Michael can after this video is done, Michael, maybe you can put something that leads to saved and sanctified in the comments after this video is done. Did anyone else have any questions for David? David, so that was really fast. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of you working in the garden or some other things. Now, I did hear you mention about, help. Do you have some way like a cash app or something like that that we could leave in the, I could put in the description if
I'd have,
someone is,
yeah, I'd have to give it to you. I have to text it to you
okay.
because
And then
I
I'll
know
put it in.
it's $ TX Scorpio 18.
Okay, let me see. I'll put it in the comments, and that way, if someone comes across this video and they want to be helpful, they can do that. So you said that it's $TX
Scorpio
Scorpio.
18. And let
Eight.
me be for sure about that too, you know. But this right here is what I want to show you too. I cleaned this whole fence row out because it was full of honeysuckles. But you notice that I left the honeysuckles just right here. You can tell they're not there, no, they're not down there. They're just from here. It's not even a whole pole. It's just a half a fence pole. But I left that there because the bees. You don't want to take away all your nature. You want to leave those flowers that were there, where the bees come to every year. You want to leave some of those there, so the bees will come back and pollinate your crop.
David, it looks like you're running out of space out there.
No, I'm not, because I didn't even do that mirror. I told you I was going to do it still in the house because I haven't taken the mirror out of it. But I'm gonna take the mirror out of it. It's how you had those old mirrors, those old dressers, the old furniture. It's not even real wood, I don't believe. But the mirror was encaved kind of in some wood, right? And what I'm gonna do is take the mirror out and put a piece of cardboard down on top of the ground. Just lay it down, and then put that mirror down, and then start fill it with compost, like I told you to make. And what that's gonna do is gonna make another raised garden that I didn't even build. I just laid a mirror down, the frame of a mirror down.
Redbird asked, and Redbird has a question. Before then, I want to ask you. So you said you're going to lay the mirror down, and then you're going to actually plant on top of it.
Yes,
And
just what
and I'd like to
and you
know. So
go
what
ahead.
happens? Is that gonna? Will you see the mirror at all after a while?
No, I'm gonna take the mirror out. I'm gonna take the mirror out.
Oh, you're gonna use the frame.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use the frame. I'm gonna take the mirror out, And what I'm going to do is just lay it on a piece. Let me show you this cardboard.
Redbird is asking, what's the best season to grow carrots?
You see this big piece of cardboard?
Oh, I'll ask him maybe.
I bought a heater for this. You can tell it's a portable heater. But I'm gonna tear this box apart, right? I'm gonna tear this box apart, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all the tape off of it because tape is not going, go into the ground. So you want to take all the tape off of it as much as you can possible, and then just open the box up and lay it on the ground. And you can build a frame to whatever size box you have. If it's a smaller box, you just want to put something like kale, radish, something that grows fast and small, spinach. But if it's something that's big, you don't want to put nothing big in there. It probably won't flourish.
Okay, David. Redbird is asking, what's the best season to grow carrots?
Right now, you want to put them in. If you got a red bird, if you got a man, I was gonna show you a flower pot. But if you got a flower pot like that, you can grow them in. You see how deep that flower pot is? If you got a flower, and that's a nice size flower pot, that flower pot is not small, y'all, by no means. That flower pot is, I wish I could tell you what gallon this is. This flower pot is the same size this. So I don't know what that is, what size that is, but maybe it says it on here. Hold on. It's ants in here, y'all. That's why this is diatomaceous earth. See all those ants up under there? And I just barely rubbed it. That's why they probably ain't coming out on my hand yet. But I'm trying to see when I can't see. But I was trying to see what gallon that was. But that's what my trees came, one of my trees came. Oh, that nectarine tree came in there. And so it's probably a pretty good sized pot, you know. So if you have a container that big, you put some of that compost in there, like I told you to make it up without the coffee grounds. And you plant your seeds and they'll start growing off from there. You don't have to plant them in the ground. And sometimes when you plant them in the ground, they won't grow as good anyway because if your soil is not right, it's gonna crinkle the carrot, and it's not gonna grow it's not gonna be as fat, or you know what I'm saying. It may grow a little carrot, you may get a little something off of it, but it won't be what you want. And I advise you, if you're gonna do that in this garden, get you some compost, make you some hills. Now, if you got access to a compost yard where they got compost, you can make you some rows. Make you some rows in there, right? Make you some rows, and then you plant that. You plant on top of the rows, and that way you got that extra compost for those carrots to grow down, and it's not thick like the ground would be. I tilled up that ground, by the way. I tilled that ground up with a shovel by myself, and I tilled it up with a shovel first, and then I came. I was looking. I don't have money, a lot of money, like I said. So this was a spirit. I had been for the last 4 weeks thinking about this tiller at Home Depot. Y'all know how you can go rent at Home Depot. I did it last year, and so I was like, man, I really don't have no money to go get that tiller, but I need that tiller. Man, I just sat around here, sat around here, sat around here, and all of a sudden, the spirit, the great spirit, said, man, your daddy was tilling down home equipment. Won't you call him? I called my grandson and asked him, because my grandson's over there. I said, man, ask Papa, do he got a tiller? Man, it was a tiller over there, y'all. And guess what Papa said? Man, I hurt my back last year, so, and he 80-some years old. He shouldn't be doing it no way, but I can't stop a warrior from doing what he do. His mama's 105. She's still living. So And when he said that to me, I said, "Oh man, I'm gonna go get this tiller," and I tilled up this. So that's what happened here. So I tilled this up last week, and you can tell there's some grass growing down there, just right in the center. But I got to go pull that out. But I'm gonna add some cow manure compost to it, and that's what was in that bag. And I can tell you could do that as well. That's good compost, cow manure compost. You can just get and you see it says compost. So and it's real. It's like it's almost like dirt. So it ain't like no big clumps or no. Now when it gets wet, it will clump up, but not like that. It will if it gets the bag gets too wet, it will clump up.
David, so now I'm wondering, how do you water out of the pot, out of the container that you keep the rainwater in? Do you just dip like a bucket in there and then go and water from like that, or do you use some system that you like siphon the water from there? Okay, the old fashioned. Uh,
Y'all see all those contain those uh, tomato baskets up there. My dad worked for the my dad used to work for the telephone company, so he was having that kind of stuff. I can even, if I want to, plant in there. And you see those two right there. But Mo man was a good dude. He was a carpenter. Everybody in the neighborhood loved him.
wow, David, this was a great tour of your garden. Much
Thank you.
appreciated. Much
No,
appreciated.
giving thanks. That's my bad. Giving thanks.
Yes. Well, everyone here, I hope you all, appreciate it. And I see that, there was some other people. I think Gretchen put in a link to a place that plant hacks for your garden. And Macadon, he put in a link that I'm going to think is going to be something about gardening. So everybody go check out those links. We all about sharing and caring. Okay.
Yes.
And
Yes, do that.
so with that, unless someone else had another question, then we'll go ahead and we can I'm gonna let you take us out. Okay, David.
I'm sorry.
I said with that, since I don't see any other questions here, I was going to let you go ahead and uh, and take us out. And you can end the broadcast for me.
Okay. I appreciate all you tuning in. I really do. Because this is not it's not hard at all. I like it. I actually love doing it. And what better time to not be working? Enjoy yourself. Stay American Indian. Stop being black. We out.